Hi, we are moving forward with Blue Book 3.3, okay, with our even numbers, all right? We're starting with number 6. We need to identify the equation of the line using the two coordinates, okay? So let's get started. Here on the first one, we have one coordinate, which is -1, -1. So here's a -1, -1. The second one is 1, 5. Positive 1, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Okay, now that we have the two, let's take a look. First of all, we need to remember that we need to identify the slope, and then we need to identify the intercept. The intercept is when the line crosses the y. The slope is the change between the 2 points, the rise and the run. All right, so let's take a look. If we have -1, -1 here, and if we have +1, 5 here, let's see if we can identify the slope. All right, so let's rise. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, so our rise is 6. All right, let's look at our run. We're going to the right, so that's positive. Our rise was positive. Our move to the right is positive. And so we go 1, 2. All right, that's the slope we are given. All right, so now, with that in mind, let's simplify it. 6 over 2, we have what? 3. So we have 3 over 1. Okay, so that is our slope in between this point and this point to hopefully identify where we cross the y. Okay, so let's see. With that in mind, let's start here. Let's rise 3 and run 1, positive progression. So let's go. 1, we went up 1, 2, 3, and we ran 1. Right here is where we come in contact with the y at +2. Okay, so that would be our y-intercept. So our y-intercept is +2. So the equation for this line is our m is 3. X, and our intercept is +2. So that's the equation for 6. Let's take a look at number 8. Okay. All right. On number 8, we're going to plug in -2, 1, 2, +3. 1, 2, 3. Our next is +2, 1, 2, +7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay. So now we can identify our slope. Let's take a look. We have to rise to this line and run. Positive progression because we're going up and to the right. Let's go. 1, 2, 3, 4. That's our rise and our run. 1, 2, 3, 4. Therefore, we have a 1 over 1, okay? Which equates to 1. All right, so now we need to find where we cross this y in between these 2 points, in between our -2, 3 and our 2, 7. So we have to go 1, 1 all the way. Rise 1, run 1. Rise 1, run 1. There we are at +5. Is where we come in contact with the y-axis. So therefore, we write it, because this is a 1, we just leave it as an x, because it's understood that a 1 is there, +5. That's the equation of the line. Y is equal, Y is equal. Okay? All right. Y is equal. So simply, this is Y is equal to X +5. Okay? All right, let's look at number 10. Number 10, we have a -9 and a +5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There we are. Then we have a -3 and a +3. 1, 2, 3. There we are. So now let's get our slope. Our rise is 1, 2. But our run goes to the left, which is a negative progression. So we need to count to negatively, and in the left, it's gonna be a negative number. So let's start. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So that makes the whole slope negative, okay? So 2 over 3 simplified is going to give you 1 over 3, and it's negative, okay? Let's see what the intercept is. So here we are. We have a negative 9 with a positive 5 and a negative 3 with a positive 3. And we're going to rise 1 and run 3, and we're going to make it a negative progression. So here we go. 1, 1, 2, 3. But we want to cross the y-axis. So let's go back here, and we're going to fall, which is a negative move, and then move to the right. Fall 1 and go 1, 2, 3. There it is, positive 2. All right, is our contact. Okay, and so therefore our equation is written as y is equal to negative 1/3 x plus 2. All right, let's move on to number 12. On number 12, we have a negative 5 and a positive 2. Here we are, okay? Then we have a positive 5 and a negative 2. 1, 2, there we are. So we need to identify our slope. Notice it's making a negative progression. All right, so let's find out where we are. Let's rise. 1, 2, 3, 4. All right, and let's run negatively. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So it makes the whole slope negative, negative 4 over 10. Let's simplify it. We are negative, and if we reduce it by 2 fifths. All right, let's find out what our intercept is. If we start here, and we rise and run, and to the left, we have a negative slope. So let's go. We're going to rise 2, 1, 2, and we're going to run 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So we discover that our intercept is at 0. Okay, so therefore our equation is written y is equal to negative 2/5, and because it's 0, 2/5 x, and because it's 0, we do not indicate a slope in place of our b. All right, let's take a look at number 14. Number 14, we have 1, negative 2, 1, negative 2, 1, 2, and then we have 3 here, negative 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So if we go from here to here, we're going in a negative progression. So we know our slope should be negative. So let's take a look. Let's find out what it is. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 rise, and then 1, 2. And it is negative because we moved to the left, okay? So simplified, 6 divided by 2 gives us a 3, so negative 3. All right, let's find out what our intercept is, okay? So it should be a negative 3 over 1, so we're going to rise 3, 1, 2, 3, and run 1. Rise 3, 1, 2, 3, and run 1. Rise 3, 1, 2, 3, and run 1. It's going to be a positive 1. So y is equal to negative 3x plus 1. All right, so now let's take a look. On number 16, we have a jet, costs $175 to rent. Now, I simplified it, okay? It's a bit much to write, okay? The jet costs $175 to rent a jet for 2 hours. It costs $300 for 4 hours. Write an equation that represents the cost of the jet. Now, what they're actually giving you here are 2 coordinates. Let's take a look. For 2 hours, which is x, y is 175. That's what they're saying. For 4 hours, x, y is 300. Those are the 2 coordinates, okay? So let's see if we can put our y into 25s and see what we can come up with here. 25, yeah, okay? So here's 0, here's 25, here's 50, here's 75, here's 100, here's 150, here's a 175, here is 200, here is 225, here's 250, and then we have 275, and then one more here, we can make it 300, okay? All right, so now, let's plug it in. At x is 2, y is 175. And that puts it right about here. All right, when x is 4, y is 300. That puts it all the way up to here. All right, so now let's find our slope. We're going to rise 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, now when we rise 5, keeping in mind every time we went up, that was actually 25. Okay, so keep that in mind. Okay, so then 5 times 25. Move this over. So 25 times 5 as 125. Okay, so we actually went up 125. Okay, all right. So now our run. Okay, so we went 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then our run was 1, 2. These were in single digits, so that's still over 2. All right, that is our slope. Do you understand? All right. So now, with that in mind, we can't do anything about simplifying it. It's 125 over 2. Okay. In other words, because we have these in increments of 5, it will be 5 over 2. Okay. Basically, what we have going on because of the way we divided it. Okay. All right. So now with 5 over 2, and it is going positively, so it's positive. Now let's take a look. We need to cross here. So let's drop down 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, which is equivalent to our 20. Each one is worth 25, and run 2. 1, 2. So it crosses at 1, positive 1. So then if we can make it 5 over 2x plus 1, or we can make it accordingly to the equation number 16. They have it, they went ahead and simplified this, the 125, okay? Remember the 5 is worth 125, so what they did was went on ahead and created a decimal. They did not leave it in the fractional form. So your textbook, when it comes to this, because we are talking about money, you want to know, write an equation that represents the cost. So we go ahead. How many 2's are in 125? We have 62.5. Because how many 2's are in 12? 6. Right? It gives us a 6. 6 times 2 is 12. Bring down to 5. How many 2's are in 5? 2. 2 times 5 is 4. And then you are left with one remainder that you add a 0 and you get 5. So that's 50. Okay? So that's our slope. And then we find that once we have our slope, then we move forward. And then when we move from from here, and when we got down 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then we ran 1, 2, and we were at this first number here, which was 1, which is actually not 1, but our from 0 to here, we were counting by 25. Okay, our book has it at 50. Maybe I didn't count correctly. Let's see. 25, 50, 75, 100, 125. I missed one. Okay, so it actually should be 50. I missed one in my line. Okay, so so this is 25. So I should have stopped here. Okay, at 50. So our equation is here. Y is equal to 6250 x plus 50. Okay, that's it. That remember we were counting by 25s. Okay, there we are. Hopefully that helps. I'm just in time for 15 minutes. My time is up. Have a good evening.